Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Roger from OTR Gaming TV, and I wanted to make this video to show you guys the top 5 cars that you should have had in the crew before we jump to the crew 2. So what I'm trying to say is, like, if you haven't had these 5 cars in the crew, you're missing out. You need to get them before you even buy the crew 2, because these cars are absolutely amazing. Now, how I'm judging these cars is simple. PvPs, how these cars perform in PvP lobbies is how I'm judging them. So I'm judging them on acceleration, speed, handling, and overall performance. So let's get it started. On my top 5 list, this will be the best car to have in the PvP lobby. The Pagani Huayra. Guys, if you haven't driven this car yet, you're missing out. This car blows. This car has acceleration, handling, speed, you name it. If you can master this car, you will win a lot of money in the PvP lobbies. Now, this is one of my favorite cars to have in the PvP lobbies. I love using it. I prefer the cop one, actually, because it doesn't have a spoiler. I think if you remove the spoiler, it helps it. So, top car to have in the crew before the crew 2 comes out, Pagani Huayra. Now, you know this is going to be on the list, guys. Second best car to have in the crew, judging by its performance, is my LaFerrari. Now, I've won the most races in the LaFerrari in PvP lobbies. If you look at my stats, I've actually won more in this car than any other car. That's because I love the way this car picks up acceleration wise. It's crazy. And I don't even manual shift, but you can, I think if you let go of the gas and brake and hit the gas again, it will shift down gears and shift back up gears. This car moves in the corners, guys. The only reason that this car is below the Pagani Huayra is because handling wise, I personally prefer the Pagani. It just is so smooth on the corners. This one, I think it has the ability to oversteer, which kind of fucks it up for me, I'm not gonna lie. So if you haven't had a LaFerrari in the crew, you're missing out. Number 2 car to have in the crew before the crew 2 comes out is 100 bazillion% the LaFerrari. Now you can see a guy there sitting next to me. I think he's in his Lotus. Now I don't know what he's doing in the video, but shout out to him, he just joined the video. But yeah, number 2 car to have in the game is the LaFerrari. Look at it, guys. I'm not even gonna say nothing. Like, this car looks way better than the Pagani, and the way I made it with gold and black, it's just beautiful, man. This car has acceleration. It's actually quick. It picks up quicker than the Pagani. It has top speed. The only minor thing that I don't like about it compared to the Pagani is the slight handling. But yeah, guys, make sure you have this car before the crew 2 comes out. In the crew, give it a spin. Now we're going to move on to my third top car to have. Third top car to have, guys, in the game is the Lotus Exige. Now there's 2 Lotuses in the game, but the particular one I'm talking about is the Lotus Exige. Why this car is third? I recently bought this car not too long ago. I think it's been about, I'll say about 3-4 months I've been racing with this car. And the only reason I did that is because somebody beat me in it when I had my Pagani. I was like, what the fuck? Now I asked that guy, was he manual shifted or not? He goes, no. And I go, how come you chose the Lotus? He goes, the reason he chose the Lotus is because it has one of the highest top speeds in a straight type of track. Like, if there was corners and shit, the Pagani would kind of smoke it, but because of the top speed, I think this car, when I was driving it, reached about 256 or 245. Yeah, let's just say 250 on its own, without slipstream, just with nitrous, you know. And I'm talking about nitrous when you hit the end. Like, this car blows. Only bad thing about it is when it does hit those top speeds, it becomes a bit too light and shaky. So when you're turning hitting corners, the car will literally fly off track. It's too sensitive because it's a lightweight car, and it will just literally fly off the corners. It hasn't got that good of acceleration compared to the LaFerrari and the Pagani, which is why it's number 3. Top speed wise, I think it can beat both of them if it's given enough distance, and it's lightweight, so you can slip up, but you can hug the corners. It's hard to explain, but when you're racing this car, guys, it blows. Like, there's times where I'm leaving, and on the cornering, it corners pretty well, but once you're hitting, I think when you're getting someone slip and you're going at really good speed, as soon as you start taking a sharp corner, it's just too light. Like, you got to be an experienced driver to actually control this car. But getting back to what I was saying, if you haven't had this car in the crew and you know the Crew 2 is coming out, this is a must. You have to buy this car because it's one of those cars where you don't. It's like an undercover sleeper. It's a I'll say it's it's an undercover sleeper. Like literally, like it. When you see it in a PvP, you might think, oh, what the fuck is this? I got my LaFerrari, I got my Pagani, but then somebody pulls this out and they smoke you. Like, what the fuck? So make sure you buy this car. Make sure you buy this car in the Crew. Moving on. Now, this is most likely everybody's favorite car, the Lamborghini Aventador. Now, I made it in official Lambo blue, looking beautiful, and the interior, if you can see, is white. Carbon fiber all around the car. There's that guy again with the Alpha. I think it's, the Lotus is winning now, going crazy and shit. But guys, this car, reason they made it to number 4, it's an overall best car for a beginner. When I started the game, I bought the Big Om. I bought this one Aventador, and I bought the LaFerrari. Now I didn't like the LaFerrari because I was used to the. Sorry, I didn't like the Aventador because I was used to the LaFerrari, and so it was almost like a decrease in speed. But overall, this car had better handling, an okay top speed, and okay actually acceleration was pretty good. But the handling on this is better than all of them. In a PvP lobby, this car can take the corners like a monster. It's just a pickup. Like if I'm racing a Pagani or a LaFerrari or even a Lotus, if they get my slipstream and hit the nitrous, they'll be gone easily. This is the only downfall about this car. Otherwise, it would literally be the best car in the game because it has mad handling. It can handle nicely. It has average. I wouldn't say average. It has good. That's the word. Good acceleration and top speed. So if you're playing the Crew and you have every other car, or you don't have all the cars and you think about what car to buy as a beginner, this is the one. You will win a lot of money in the PvPs with this car. But then once you start ranking up, I do recommend buying the Pagani or the LaFerrari. But you need to buy this car in the Crew before the Crew 2 comes about. Before the Crew 2 comes out, because you're missing out if you haven't bought these cars. I just look at it like, I don't want to brag, but I think I made this car look sexy as fuck. It's already sexy, but I made the bumpers not too wild and not too crazy. I didn't put no spoiler on it. I think I put like a factory type of spoiler on it. But yeah, make sure you buy a Lamborghini Aventador. And moving on now to the next car. Now, the Ferrari 458. I'm not even going to say nothing, guys. This car only comes with season pass. A lot of you subscribers ask, how do I get this car? This car only comes when you buy it season pass, or you can actually buy it in a separate pack. Why this car becomes after the Aventador? They're very, very close to each other, fairly even. I think the handling on both cars is very, very good. Top speed wise, I think the Aventador can blow, because I've had races where the Aventador will actually overtake me, but then I'll get the slip and I'll go. But that's only on some occasions, because sometimes I smoke the Aventador on the corners. So it just depends who the driver is, I guess. But it was a hard decision putting this number 4, because I was going to put it number 3, but then I thought, Aventador, you know, I had a lot of time with Aventador. So not a lot of you guys are going to have the chance to buy this or even drive this car, because you have to pay real money to get it. But if you do, and if you have the money to buy it, I do recommend it. This car is evil on the corners. It's overall another good car for a beginner. I gave my friend Cedo this car. I not gave it to him, but I told him like, yo, if you got this car, you're good to make a lot of money in the PvPs. Overall, an okay car for a beginner, but then again, like, you can pull off a victory against a Pagani. It just depends on the track. But you need this car again before the Crew 2 comes out. By the way, if you already started your game and see my video, you'll get this car for free in the Crew 2. So another must buy car in the Crew before the Crew 2 comes out. Moving on to my number 1 car. Now a lot of you must be thinking, what the fuck? The C63 AMG, really? Guys, when I tell you that this car can turn, and when it turns, it drifts. I've been a Pagani. Look up in my videos, C63 versus Pagani Huayra. It was a mad race. It's between me and Big Omar. Both cars are maxed out, and I won with this car. So do not sleep on this car, guys. This car is just, oh my god, this car is an underdog. You know what I mean? Like, it has to, the way it takes the corners, it was just amazing. Just watch that race, guys. This car, C63 AMG versus Pagani Huayra, insane race. That's the only reason I've beaten a few cars. I even beat a GTR with this car. I highly recommend, if you did not have this car yet, get it. Again, you have to buy this car. You can buy it in a pack, or you can buy the season pass to get all the cars. Highly recommend this car, guys. This is my top 5 list, so this will be the last one to buy. It's, you know, it hasn't got top speed, but the cornering wise it does all right. So guys, 100 bazillion%, you need to get this car before the Crew 2 comes out anyway. So I'm going to show you all the other cars that could have been on the list, on this list, guys. So I'm going to show you the Pagani Zonda could have been on the list, but I didn't put it in the list because it's almost like a Pagani Huayra. There was the Gallardo, there was a Nissan Skyline. A lot of cars, guys. I've got a lot of cars. You can see, I'm showing you right now. I've got Beamers, I've got, you know, Lambos, Bentleys, Chevys, all them, you name it. But I recommend having these 5 cars that I said in the Crew if you haven't already bought them. Most of you probably have, but if you haven't already bought them, these are the top 5 cars to have before the Crew 2 comes out. These are all perf vehicles I'm showing you now. Those are the 5 cars that I'm showing you, because in a perf race, these guys are monsters. The last one, obviously the C63 that I'm showing you right now, is okay. Like, I wouldn't recommend it using it in every PvP, but in certain races with a lot of corners, this car is evil. It just drifts, it eats it. Just watch the track between this and the Pagani, and this and the GTR. Now I'm showing you McLarens. Just look at all the list of cars I could have put in here, but I didn't. But oh, I'm loving this C63. I think I made it look beautiful, man. Craziness. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my top 5 cars that you should buy, or you should have bought in the Crew before the Crew 2 comes out. I'm looking forward to the Crew 2, guys. I know a lot of you are. I'm hoping I can cruise and race with most of you, because we've got a lot of subscribers that have the Crew, and I want to literally do this. Look at what I'm doing right now, cruising around in my Bentley, full stock, just for my boys. But on that note, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe, make sure you hit that little bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video.